The Southern Nevada Water Authority has asked the Nevada Supreme Court to dismiss a lawsuit filed by 3 Valley homeowners who claim a ban on non-essential grass is killing their trees. Fox 5 spoke with 2 of those residents about their lawsuit in January. One described the turf ban as, quote, draconian. The lawsuit pushes back against the terms of AB 356. It mandated the removal of all non-functional turf by December 31st of 2026 and bans outdoor irrigation using Colorado River water by 2027. The SNWA is tasked with enforcing that law. A brief filed with the High Court by its attorneys claims that the lawsuit seeks to prevent it from following the state legislature's directives.